ready?
Yeah.
All right, Greg Pickel. We're here at Big Ten Media Days here in Chicago on Monday. James Franklin was here with three of his players, Brian Gaia, Naeem Wortman-White, and Brandon Bell. What did you learn this afternoon?
I think we learned a lot of different things. I think we learned that Naeem Wortman-White thinks there's a lot of breakout candidates on this Penn State football team. He's bothered, like you are, that Brandon Bell is not making the linebacker watch list.
Yes, he is.
I thought that was interesting. I thought James Franklin, was asked on a whole bunch of different topics, as he always is during his 60 minutes here, and there wasn't a ton of news that came out today, I don't think. One guy he mentioned that a couple of the other guys did too was Cam Brown, the freshman linebacker from Maryland. I think we should be watching that for an eye. If that kid's going to get on the field, I think it could be as early as this year. I think that they like what they have in him, but those are really the big takeaways. Not a whole lot of new news here in Chicago, but plenty to go around.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's become more apparent, especially today, and it's not on the field, it's just with every round of news bites that involve the past and Sandusky and Joe Paterno and latest news or allegations, it really does impact James and the Penn State program. I was, just watching him interact with the media for about 90 minutes in various ways. The amount of questions he gets not related to the current football team and to the past, it almost seems, Greg, like he gets asked more about that
he does.
than he does about his current team. I think it bothers him a little bit. I think he knows he has to talk about it. But what are your thoughts on what he said today about negative recruiting with regard to the past and what kids and parents want to know about Penn State's program moving forward, and do they need to be worried about anything?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is what we've talked about before, Bob. It's just that, one, they have to start the conversation with this thing that came up 40 years ago, this thing that was of note, this lawsuit, that lawsuit. When it gets kids asking those questions and you get parents asking those questions, and instead of starting the conversation with, here's what you can get by coming to Penn State, it first has to be, here's what school A, B, or C is saying that's not true about Penn State. So it makes for a hassle. He's right. He said it. There was negative recruiting all over the country. Penn State has to go through a little bit differently than most.
One more thing just to pass along.
Mark Brennan walks by.
There's Mark Brennan and his giant skull. One more thing to pass along. Every year at this time, the media kind of select media vote on who basically the 10 best players in the Big Ten are. 5 from the East, 5 from the West. Saquon Barkley at Penn State made the list. As we go into 2016, Greg, do you feel like he's the best back in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I don't really think you could argue it outside of maybe Corey Clement. I think that he's obviously very talented. There's a couple other guys that you could maybe throw their hat in the ring for, but when you watch him play, I just have a hard time voting for anybody else.
It's him or Justin Jackson. They went head-to-head last year. Both had a good game.
Yes.
But I think they're going to be in the conversation as the season moves on.
Yep.
And we'll have more from Big Ten Media Days on Tuesday.